So, of course, we couldn't end 2024 without one final last pay-per-view, but it meant we get to use our brains one more time, and we are going to try and predict AEW at World's End. Let's face it, if it is at World's End, we're all going to be dead anyway. And we will start with Teesa versus Will Hobbs for the international title. Now, this is a very strange match, because unless you've been watching Collision, you probably wouldn't even know this existed. But at the same time, I do kind of get it, right? Like, you should watch both shows if you want to get all the AEW stories. I see this criticism all the time. It's like, oh man, I don't understand what's going on. And then somebody has totally ignored Collision. Like, going forward, you could argue that we should have split rosters. I would be against it, because I just like it when you have a big hodgepodge. But it's always funny to me that you're like, I don't understand the story, and you didn't watch 50% of the shows. We don't talk about Rampage. Rampage has passed away. And for all those people that are happy that Rampage passed away, you're very strange individuals. I just want to say that. Now, the thing is, ever since Powerhouse Hobbs has come back, do I think he deserves more of a super duper mega push? Absolutely. But at the same time, Teesa is on fire right now. And don't forget, a week after this, we have the two New Japan shows, and the one on the Sunday, or the second one, is in conjunction with AEW. And Teesa has a bunch of matches during that, which is the main reason why I think he's going to hold on to this international title here. But moving into 2025, especially when we start to do the simulcast on Max, I think it's probably a good idea to make this belt kind of feel more what it meant in the middle of the year when MJF and Will Ospreay were fighting over it. And this is the issue when you do have too many titles. Sometimes you do lose the allure because you're looking elsewhere. But I don't think it's the time for Teesa to lose it. But I do think, in a rare occasion, we should come up with a way to protect Powerhouse Hobbs, because in 2025, he is a guy that if you get right, and you can tell the right narrative, and you give him the right character or push or whatever the word may be, he could be a world champion down the line, right? You have to get him to that position where the fans believe that, but he certainly has the talent, and again, he only recently has come back, so I do think there is an opportunity there. But this Saturday, will not be his night. I'm giving it to Teesa. We also have a very random match because the TBS title is on the line, and it is Chris Statler versus Mercedes Moné Part 2. And yes, this makes me laugh because this also ties into Collision. Chris, I should say, walked up to Mercedes, or basically via an interview, and went, "Can I have a title shot?" Mercedes said, "Of course you can have a title shot." Even though if I was Mercedes Moné, and I'm not, I know, big surprise, I'd be like, "No, I beat you at the last show. Why would I give you another one?" Now listen, the nerd part of me is well happy about this because I loved that match before, and I think the cool thing about doing repeats or replays or rematches is that you can almost add on what you've done on the first one, and together the story and the combo becomes more of what they would have been individually. So that's super duper exciting. But I talked about it ups and downs and what culture. Make sure you subscribe to them. Please do subscribe to me as well. It's just not my thing, right? We talk about it in WWE and AEW. Gee's title shot to me is just the lamest way to go about anything. In my own wrestling career, I am the Progress Proteus champion, and somebody, Gene Money, shout out to Gene Money, but also no, because he was horrible to me, he walked out and said, "Gee's title shot," and I just said, "No, man, why would I do that? Stop trying to abuse wrestling tropes." And while it'd be awesome if Chris Statler won that title, because the build has just a bit like ta-da and come out of nowhere, I don't think you should take it off Mercedes. And actually, I think Mercedes is going to beat Mina Shirakawa soon, excuse my bubbly mouth, and that would mean she'd be the Rev Pro champion, and she's probably going to go to Rev Pro, because of course they have a deep relationship with AEW, which is super duper exciting. But this could steal the show. It certainly could. I know there's some amazing matches on there, but it's because we are building off the first one. But there ain't no way Mercedes Moné ain't winning. MJF versus Adam Cole for the Dynamite Diamond Ring will also be on this show. What a incredible build this has been. It's been totally wild for a long old time. I didn't necessarily like all the stuff with Carl from Roderick Strong, and of course Mike Bennett and Matt Taven, who are going to get involved here, I would hazard a guess. But I do think the big promo off that Adam Cole and MJF had on Collision was two pros really going to town to try and make this mean something. And I thought the video package on Dynamite was very good too. And also, it does have a sense of jeopardy, mostly because of all the madness it took to get here. Because MJF was going to be the babyface and Adam Cole was going to be the heel, but then Adam Cole got horrendously injured, obviously, so I'm super happy he is back. But now he's the good guy and MJF is the bad guy. It all depends on what you want to do with this Diamond Ring. Now, I don't think we should continue this feud past at World's End, because again, I actually think where these two have got it to is the best they can possibly do. And if we do keep drawing it out, for lack of a better term, maybe going to go back into the woods. But I'm also, given this a prediction show, I'm pretty sure, unless it's a red herring, that Matt Taven and Mike Bennett are going to turn on Adam Cole. And it really depends who they're going to go with, right? Even the Kingdom are going to turn on Adam Cole, or they're going to help him to win the ring by beating up MJF. And then is that a very babyface thing to do? Does that convolute it even more? If you do that, surely MJF is going to want a rematch. So it's actually incredibly hard to call. And of course, MJF is, I wouldn't call it on a losing streak, but he lost his title to Will Ospreay. Then he went away to film that film. But he did beat Daniel Garcia to say that. So it's incredibly difficult. But I think if anyone needs it more, it probably is Adam Cole. And because AEW has been so obvious with the Bennett and Taven thing, I would imagine they will actually help Adam. And then what we do with MJF after that, I don't know. I mean, Roderick Strong could come back too. He's certainly been off TV for a while. I just like the idea of moving into 2025 and everyone going off in their separate directions. I don't think we should go back to the Undisputed Kingdom. I know they have a real-life friendship, which is awesome, by the way, but I think they could all use a fresh coat of paint in 2025. And Adam Cole having the Dynamite Diamond ring would be perfectly fine. I mean, again, it's just another trinket. There's just too many trinkets in all of pro wrestling. But my gut says that Adam Cole probably needs to win. And where that leaves MJF, I don't know, because again, he should be back up fighting for world titles too, as should Adam Cole. So it should be an interesting match, and I think they will be well aware of the roller coaster that it took to get here, and they want to prove everybody wrong because they are super pros and they are amazingly talented. So this could actually be one we talk about long after the fact. But yeah, just to double down on what I just said, Adam Cole probably needs it more than MJF because he's had such a horrendous 18 months, and all the love to that guy. And also, the Happy Gilmore 2 trailer came out, and MJF's in that. So just awesome people, smashing the world, very, very inspiring, but trying to keep it within the realms of kayfabe and within the realms of story. I'm going to give it to Adam Cole. But am I confident? Absolutely not. The women's title is also on the line. Thunder Rosa versus Mariah May in a street fight. What kind of street fight is it? Can I see? All my notes are over there. I think it's a Tijuana street fight. I may have got that wrong. I think this should be awesome. Mariah May obviously had a phenomenal year. Thunder Rosa is the queen of street fights, and again has been having a bunch of good wins on Rampage and Collision. And yes, I am friends with Thunder Rosa, so I'm massively biased here. But at the same time, I don't think she's going to win the championship, just because you can see all the contenders that Mariah May has lined up, right? They're literally waiting there to do it. And I think eventually Mariah May will lose that championship in Australia when timeless Tony Storm stops being the rocker Tony Storm. She's going to get a massive pop. And how we get there, I don't know, but it's probably going to be really, really fun. But I am, of course, really, really pleased that Thunder Rosa is in this position. She's been busting her ass, or she came back from the horrendous back injury. She also then had that concussion. So to be back in this picture, I just hope they go out there. And again, I'm looking at it completely from a nerd fan point of view and from a friendship point of view. I just hope both of them go out there and just have a really good match and remind everyone what they are both capable of, because, you know, sometimes you can win by losing, right? So as long as they do have something that we go, wow, man, what a great street fight, they'll both go into 2025 with loads of momentum, and then, yes, we can continue to build the women's division, because Chris Statler is going to need to do something. Willow Nightingale, obviously, could Thunder go on to take on Mercedes Moné? We haven't seen that match yet. It does kind of feel like Mercedes wants to take on as many people in the division as possible, which is cool, because we get all these matches we've never seen before. But I just can't see a world where we take the belt off Mariah May, because I think that is being saved for Toni Storm, hence why we waited so long to bring her back to begin with. The Toni Storm stuff is so much fun, and the Australia show's like a couple of months away. I think it's February or something like that, maybe later on, I can't remember, but I think that will sort of be the centerpiece of it. And if you are going to build it that big, yeah, you should probably just hold off and give it to Toni Storm. But again, I just hope Thunder Rosa and Mariah May go in there and absolutely kill it, maybe try and steal the show, because, you know, the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker, that was a steel cage match, and that one will probably be far more bloody than this one. But it really did kind of rewrite the rule book over here in the West, for lack of a better term, about what women can do in matches. You still get people saying, oh, men, I don't like it when the females do this, which I find absolutely ridiculous. If it's good enough for the men, it's good enough for the women. So even though Mariah May will get the win, I really do hope we can just give them a good old 20 minutes and they can kill each other, but in the spirit of wrestling, then they go backstage and they just hug. We're also getting the four-way for the world title. John Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page versus Orange Cassidy versus Jay White. Once again, I think the outcome of this is John Moxley versus Jay White in the Australia show. I know Jay White is from New Zealand, but it's not all the same. I shouldn't say that. But it's all from the same region. It's like when Drew McIntyre fought in Wales and WWE were like, yeah, he's from Wales. No, he's not. He's from Scotland. But it would still be a big deal, right? I'm sure people will gravitate towards Jay White, as they should do. But I just cannot see a world where John Moxley loses this. I just can't. I mean, I'm sure it will be the fact they can't coexist, and Hangman and Orange and Jay White will all fall out with each other. We also now have this asterisk with Christopher Daniels, because he's going to have Hangman's back, because Orange has somebody and John Moxley has loads of people and Jay White has people too. My big thing is, if John Moxley does win in 2025 early, I need a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit more clarity with the story. Like, he cuts amazing promos, but sometimes I'm a bit like, this is like talking to the Riddler. I don't actually know what you're going on about. So I think we could probably hit it on the nose a little bit more. And I do like what AEW has done here. They have put 3 extra people in the match because that way Jon Moxley can lose his belt without being pinned or being submitted. But I think ultimately, going back to what we talked about earlier, it's a red herring, it's a ruse. And Jon Moxley will probably get the win. Maybe he pins Orange Cassidy, which is why Orange Cassidy is in the match. So of course, he took the loss at the last pay-per-view too, which means he could go on to other things. And we've teased Derby, we've teased Will Ospreay, and the Continental Classic will be done after this. So there are more stories to tell, probably involving Jon Moxley. It all depends. We need a good execution on this one because we want to make sure that Hangman stays strong. We obviously need that for Jay White too. And I think Orange Cassidy, if it was up to me, I'd put him in an incredible position in 2025 where he could be the world champion. I don't think it's actually going to happen because I think the chess pieces have moved too much. But I am intrigued about this. I think it should be a great match. But if Jon Moxley does not walk away with that title, man, I will shave my head. I would be so damn surprised, which is why I'm just going to stick with it and keep it nice and easy and going with Jon Moxley. Which, of course, brings us to the finals of the C2. And we have, yes, it is Okada versus Ricochet, which is just a fantastic match, especially because Okada is sort of a heel, even though he's not really, and Ricochet has gone mega heel. And the cool story is we also have Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. Now, I actually think we're going to pull a fast one here. I think the finals are going to be Okada versus Kyle Fletcher. I think Okada is going to win, and we are going to double down and cement this idea that he is the best tournament wrestler in the world, which is a really good story that on Collision we've leaned into. And I think as soon as Okada has won, and he's celebrating with the Continental Cup, and he's still got his Continental title, Kenny Omega will walk down that aisle and make his return to All Elite Wrestling, and it'll be totally fantastic. And again, because we do have Ospreay versus Fletcher, even though you're not allowed interference in the C2, it wouldn't surprise me if there is some Don Callis nonsense. How AEW circumvents that, I don't know. But I can certainly see them trying to protect Will, because of course he's lost a lot recently, which I actually think adds to his character. I think adds to the story, but I understand that I'm on a lone island by that. But we cannot lose here. Like every single pairing, if you do Okada versus Ospreay, that's brilliant. I would probably want to hold off on that because I think it's such a massive match. You want to give it more build as opposed to like an hour, because all these matches are happening on the same night. Cole versus Okada is great because it's 2 people that if they win are going to benefit from it. Ricochet versus Kyle Fletcher would be awesome. You could do Ricochet versus Will Ospreay again. Also awesome, especially because Ricochet beat Will Ospreay. You cannot go wrong. But I think that if Kenny Omega is coming back, Kenny Omega, I don't care. Well, of course I care. I want him to be as well as possible. But even if he's only 80% of the person he once was, random figure for you, he's one of the best wrestlers ever. I really think we should treat him. I don't mind him doing the Okada stuff because that's a generational match and I'll be over the moon to sit in AEW. But he should be pitched as our top babyface. He should be a superstar. You know, he should be the Cody Rhodes treatment, the Roman Reigns treatment, the Okada treatment back in New Japan. We should treat him like the biggest of deals, and the Okada match is a great way to do that. They should probably fight maybe at the Australia show. If you could hold it off to All In, there's no way, but you could do that. And he should win that belt, and they should defend it loads of times, then he should be the world champion, and it should all be about Kenny Omega for the next 18 months. That's how good I think he is. That's how much star power I think he has. And it begs the question, does the C2 finish? Because I think Kenny Omega is so big, that could be the last thing you see on the show. I think you can justify having the C2 finals over the world title because, one, you can look at it from a sports point of view, as they are all fighting one match already. We wanted to give them the maximum of time before they do their second match. But also, the C2 only comes around once a year, and you could sell that as a big deal too. Like, oh no, this is at World's End is when we do the finals in the main event. And as important as the World Championship is, you kind of make a tradition out of that. And once more, just to double down on it. If Kenny Omega is coming back, and I massively respected what the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega did when AEW first started. They didn't want to come across as, oh, we want to win all the time. Screw that, man. AEW needs an injection in the arm. Have Kenny Omega win all the time and have him being the best bout machine we know he can be. And even if he's not as the best bout machine as he used to be, he's still going to be one of the best. Because Kenny Omega, I'm just going to keep saying it, is one of the best wrestlers ever. I don't care. Set the comments on fire. That's fine. I'll put it out with some water. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think ending the show with Kenny Omega staring off with Okada just makes you go, what were you all moaning about, man? How the hell did we get here? We are eating good, and it will be a good show, and more matches will be announced. I'm doing this on the Thursday. Tony Khan loves announcing matches last minute, and more power to him. It will be a good show. AEW never miss with pay-per-views. But more importantly, make sure you drop me a comment down there and let me know what you think about all of this. Give your predictions as well. Interact with the video. There's a bunch of stuff in the description, like grillermind.com/Simon. Just go Simon to get 10% off. But if you don't want to do that, you don't want to go with my merch or anything like that, or follow me on Twitter and social media, just click the like button and comment and click the videos on the screen, because YouTube absolutely loves algorithm stuff, and at the moment my algorithm has suffered for reasons you don't want to know. But I appreciate you always sticking by me. I hope you had a terrific holiday season. I hope you have a terrific new year. Take care of yourself, my friends. That's the most important thing, and I'll see you soon.